Hello and welcome to The Lab, a Minecraft podcast where we explore, experiment, and theorize about all things Minecraft. I am MinerThoughts, and with me is my co-host, my brother from down under, The1Troj. And joining us also today is our wonderful, our guy behind the scenes, our podcast producer, showrunner? I don't know. What is your title? It's Keegers. How are you, Keegers?
Hello. I don't really. We make up the title of executive producer just because I think it fits best. But I'm not. You guys are the showrunners. You guys are doing all the stuff. I just click buttons and make sure your show goes out across the world.
Yeah, and 99.9% of the time it does.
It does 100% of the time. 99% of the time on time.
Wait. Well, okay. There. I know about one episode that did not go out on something. I forget already because I contacted the company and made sure that it did go out the next day.
I figured it was. So
thank you to our listeners to telling us this is a thing that happened.
It works 100%.
Recently, actually.
Works 100% of the time, 50% of the time.
Yeah. I just figured it was. I just figured it was daylight savings time or something along them lines.
But yeah, thanks to our listeners that do listen, and they let me know when the episode didn't come out. What happened? I was like, oh no, let me go look. Yeah, it was just this one streaming service. I'm not gonna. I think I remember who. I'm not gonna put them under the bus because let's not. They're all awesome, and let's keep the episodes coming.
But we've invited Keegers here today for one very important reason. This is actually episode 100 of the Lab. Believe it or not.
Yay! We made it.
100. I can't believe you guys did 100 episodes. Like.
Not like
just boggles my mind. We were talking in the pre-show because you guys should subscribe to Patreon so you can check out the pre-show about how that's like 4 years worth of episodes. Holy monkey, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, 100. Well, not forgetting like the first year we were one a month.
That's true.
Second year was every 2 weeks. Third year we went to weekly. That became a lot of work. Worth it considering the growth that we've seen over that last 12 months.
Yeah, we definitely saw the numbers. We definitely see them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So originally, our original plan for the 100th episode was we were going to do the Hot Ones Challenge live on Twitch and then cut it for an episode. However, logistics...
it's still happening.
Oh, it'll happen. But logistics is not... And getting things into Australia, difficult. And it's actually, believe it or not, it's cheaper to buy the sources in the States and post it to Australia than me buy it in Australia directly. It is bizarre. It is craziness.
Yeah.
But that's led to a whole lot of logistical issues, but we'll get there. We will do it. So we thought, what do we do for episode 100 if we don't have hot sauces? I know, we'll bring on Hot Guy himself.
The Hot Guy.
But no, we thought we'd just take
I don't know how to respond to that.
He's gone red. But
I have.
See, hot. So we thought we'd take a little bit of a wander back to like day one and explore the history of the lab and go sort of even maybe from like the podcast side of it because it's a bit of a journey. It's not something you just sit up and go record, whack it up, and hope for the best. There's a lot of work that's gone into behind the scenes of it. We're not even going to talk about, setting up the community as such is a whole different kettle of fish. But just the podcast side of it has been a journey of discovery, shall we say?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So I can still remember before this was even a thing. You messaged me. Was it even on Facebook at that point?
No, Discord.
It was definitely Discord.
It was Discord.
You messaged
definitely
me.
Discord.
It was definitely Discord. So you messaged me along the lines of, what do you think about doing a podcast? And I think my response was, it's funny you say that, Keegers. Because I've been thinking the same thing. And then we went from there.
As some people know the story, we've talked about it before, that the Trojan and I did a live stream just messing around with the snapshots. And that was kind of the plan with the podcast at first, talking about Minecraft snapshots, what they're coming out with, what they're bringing us in the next update. And in the early days, it was a lot of that. And then we got behind on it. And, we had snapshot mega episodes.
You didn't get behind on it because you remember when we first launched the podcast. So the lab wasn't a standalone podcast back then. you were part of this like variety crazy
True.
idea that this guy had to make it so that you guys were like slotted in, because we initially were really concerned about making content. Like I had this crazy idea, which I just sent in our little chat on Discord, the elevator pitch, because I made that elevator pitch October 10th, 2021. So this is 4 years in the making, almost 4 years in the making, where I pitched this crazy idea of making this variety podcast where we'd have different segments. And we did. We had our recap for Interrealms. We had the lab, which was Minecraft Lab at that point, but we rebranded. We had our audio drama, The Reapers, which this is on this guy. There's still some stuff out there that's recorded that I never got done. Gaming news with me and Elaney. And and you guys ran with it more than anyone else.
So it was a lot of work though, like in those early days, because it was like you were involved with all of them. I was involved in half of
all
them.
Of them.
And it was just the workload piled up. I know how hard it is doing the lab now on a weekly basis. You know, we record on a Saturday, edit Saturday, release Monday. Doing a weekly podcast it's time consuming. And you were doing it
people
every
do this
week
for full-time jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But none of us are full time.
Well, and to make matters worse, back in the day, I was writing like the RSS feed scripts for all this stuff. Like the stuff that like now I just click buttons. I was actually doing the coding behind it before I was being too stubborn to look at a host like Acast, which by the way, on Acast, they're a great little place to post your podcast on. Not sponsored, wish we were.
I remember when we made that transition, though, from the Interrealms podcast to a standalone. And we had one subject. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it was the Filmora thing or something else, that it on the Interrealms side of it through YouTube, didn't it like take off, get lots of views? But then when we put it on our own channel, which had at that time very little subscribers. I mean, we're finally up to 64 on YouTube.
That's YouTube, yeah.
But we're slowly, through YouTube and more through the podcast platforms, finally starting to see some traction.
Well, that Filmora one, it didn't work on the lab channel for two reasons. One, by the time we transitioned it over and put it onto the labs channel, the whole furor was dead. It was over. Filmora realized they'd made a mistake. They'd reverted all their decisions. It all disappeared. So the hype for that was gone. But also, it was on there twice. So YouTube doesn't like having multiple content of the same thing. So it wasn't going to push it. And for those two reasons, it didn't convert. But we needed it on the second platform because, it was our episode 1. But I think that was sort of the catalyst for pushing us into our own. That and the fact, I think, of the 4 initial shows, I think the lab was the one that sort of was performing.
It was performing better. It was consistent. So 2 of the 4 shows were consistent. 2 of the 4 shows weren't. And it was taking off. And we realized that I think our conversation showed were like, okay, this variety thing is working, but it's really not. Like, what are people really tuning in for? So we're like, well, let's try to spin it up on its own thing. Let's see if it stands up on its own 2 feet. And I think it landed on 4 feet. So,
during that transition that we started, we're more the lab now, which is not just Minecraft. It's talking about content creation and other things and things that affect content creators. One of the big, hot topics early on was the Dr. Disrespect thing early on. And we kind of did little segments like that concentrated more on the content creator type side of things. I still feel good about doing things like that because we're still growing and we're still learning and sharing our experiences with others as creators.
I think it's a natural evolution of any type of content thing, whether you're making YouTube videos or Twitch streaming or whatever. If you stay static, it becomes old. And I think too, you find, at least I can only speak for myself in my own content creation journey so far, you naturally evolve as your interests realign over time. But also you sort of like with this, you're right. We started talking about snapshots mostly, and then it was like what affects content creators and content creation and bringing that in. But we've fallen into that niche, which is different because there's not many other Minecraft podcasts that actually delve that way. Most of them, if they're talking about Minecraft specifically and only Minecraft and the snapshots and ideas where we sort of developed that little niche of, yes, we still talk about that and give our thoughts, etc. But we've got that niche now of, it's from a smaller content creator perspective. Now, yes, we have had an email of talk more about Minecraft, less about what's affecting things, but that's sort of the niche that we've developed and where we are comfortable in now, and it's working, it's resonating, and there might not be every topic we talk about might not appeal to every single listener that we have every single week. That's normal, video creators, the Greens, the Iscal, the Greens, the Impulses, and all those, they might do different series that don't appeal to everyone, and thus they don't get the same viewers across every single video.
And then when we started and last year trying to put out more content instead of just monthly or bi-weekly or even weekly, realized that there are going to be situations where we couldn't record all the time, or maybe we could only record the latest episode. So, I was kicking around the idea for like smaller segments. And that's where I came up with the reality check, the rants, as
Miners
people
rants.
called them.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed those. And you're right. Yeah. I get in my head about one of them, but the true truth will come out tomorrow when I do see a Minecraft movie. But this year, is all about the mining, the real mining. So I enjoy those, and I hope people enjoy those as well.
I do too. You guys said I don't listen to things. I do listen to those occasionally. I did listen to the first one.
They actually do reasonably well with the views on YouTube too. And we were talking about YouTube, and I've said this a few times on the podcast. YouTube, for me, we put it there because it's there. But the growth that I like seeing is the podcast, that side of it. Because YouTube is YouTube. I think YouTube's pretty sucky when it comes to podcasts, the way they do it and the way you grow on them. I know some people, they do a podcast and all they have it on is YouTube. Is that a podcast or is that a video? But yeah, for me, it's the other side of it, because like Miner said before, we're finally up to 60 subscribers on the YouTube. Yeah, I would like to see more growth on that, but it's a podcast. I don't know, YouTube podcasts don't really seem to work well together. Not at this point yet. But it's the other side. Yeah, I honestly am surprised every time you put the figures up, because, Keegers gives us the monthly figures. It's like, this is doing all right. Like, it's worth doing.
I really hate how YouTube does podcasts. They used to, though. So we're old enough that we went through the transition from Google Podcasts to YouTube. I really miss Google Podcasts. They were so much better. And there's even like little fights going on among the podcasts. They won't actually release the podcast to YouTube, so it actually creates more time and energy that you guys have to put into creating this content. Before it was just, you gave me the audio file and click, it would upload it. Now it's, we have to create a separate video, which we're doing now, and I appreciate you having this conversation in person, but it also lends itself to having some, you're not the only one, Miner, but it did remind me, gotta remember, like Troj said, audio is our primary medium, and when you're saying, yeah, look at this, it doesn't work real well.
Yeah, the problem is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is they don't share the analytics over to the other, like Acast.
Well, we won't even go into that feud, but the way that YouTube does podcasts is if you upload it to anywhere but Acast, you can have it automatically go to YouTube. And what YouTube does is it takes your file, downloads it, and then takes your album cover and puts it together and makes a new video. And that's then your podcast on YouTube Music. So instead of using the original file, they're actually appropriating your file and putting it up. So there's no continuity in the statistics. You don't get any sort of anything. It doesn't count towards the podcast statistics that I see on one side. We've got to look at both of them. It's not great. I'm gonna be honest, it's not great, because then you're fighting two monetization things. You got to do your monetization for the podcast, which is about 4,000 downloads a month, and you have to have that same metric, exactly the same metric on YouTube in order to get monetized. Not great.
And when it comes to the YouTube performance too, like you put this out as they call it a podcast, but essentially it's a video. And you put this as a video out in the Minecraft space. When I look for a podcast, I don't go to YouTube to look for a podcast to listen to. I go to Spotify or Apple or Audible or whatever. So they don't perform as a video on that platform because even though you list them as a podcast and they show up in the playlist as a podcast and they function as a podcast, they are still videos and they perform to video metrics and video algorithms and all that. Not a good system. So that's why, you see people say, oh, but you've only got 50, 60 subscribers. Yeah, on YouTube. The other side's a little bit different.
Yeah.
On YouTube. Yeah.
But then obviously this year we introduced Patreon as well. So I think we're up to 5 or 6 there at the moment. Obviously you say at the end of the video, you'll see the thank you card there with everyone's names on it. And we do appreciate the support. But obviously we do a pre-show that goes there. We talk about all sorts of things. And today's pre-show was very much 3 old guys reminiscing about the old times.
Yeah, exactly.
It's when me and Troj get together. We talk about the old days.
Every time.
Speaking of the old days.
Because we've only known each other, we've only known each other for a small amount of time. I actually contemplated the maths of it the other day. You know how we usually say it's like 15 years? It's closer to a number starting with a 2 now.
I was afraid you were going to say.
I think it is.
Actually.
I think it's over. It might be over that.
It's over that. It's over that. It's over that.
A little bit scary.
Because actually that came up on my stream last night of how long you and I have known each other. Because our friend Doylan, I've known a lot longer than that. If that's even possible. I'm that old.
Where did the time go?
Right.
Because I did the maths. So, because I remember you on a previous game, you gave me a wedding present in that game. And that's 18 years. So we had known each other previous to that. That's scary. Anyway, sorry, Miner.
Well, I know I've only been around for 4 years?
Almost 5.
More than that.
It feels a lot longer. But
at least 6.
I was just
No. So Interrealms is into its 5th year.
Yeah.
So it would have been around about now, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That the planning was.
There you go.
So it would have been about 5 years, Miner.
Yeah.
Because you were one of the first asked, and then spent the next 2 months procrastinating yes or no.
Oh, I still do that.
We know.
Changed.
That's true.
It's like, should I join Interrealms 5 years later?
Hey, I've got my editing almost done, so I'm getting better at this thing.
First episode, folks. First episode.
Yeah, episode 1, season 1.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah, I early on with the Minecraft lab. It was Minecraft lab. It was Minecraft lab. I tried to do some of the editing, but the problem with me and editing is 1, we often don't get along, and 2, I start to be a perfectionist. So, and then we don't get along. So, where was I going with this? Anyway, early on, I was doing some of the editing, but besides that, I wanted to talk about the old days of this podcast. Some of our favorite episodes, maybe some of our favorite guests.
We haven't had many.
There you go.
Well, this year we've had, this guy. Who else have we had this year? We need more guests.
We haven't had anybody. We set out one of the goals this year was to get more guests on.
I know.
But life hasn't really allowed it.
We're only in April. There is still time.
There is still time.
We'll get guests.
I like that.
We'll get guests, yeah.
But no, we had Ray's Works on here. We had a green approved Redstoner on the same episode. Jurassic's is
permanently on speed dial if one of us can't show up to host. He's permanently on speed dial now, and he's just waiting for the call.
Blind Cubsy was one of the first when we transitioned over to the standalone.
Yeah, and that was about AI actually. So that's probably
talking about AI.
That's probably worth a revisit about how it's infiltrating content.
Started. Yeah, it's terrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, gone are the days of NFTs, and now it's all about AI.
NFTs are still there, but no, no. I'm gonna stop. Although, because I have a whole thing on oversimplified that I haven't released yet, because it's annoying me to no end.
So it's not an oversimplified. It's a oversimplified reality check episode. Basically a rant. Let's just call it a rant.
So for those listening, for those that are listening, we have various different head motions from Keegers right now.
I suppose I should be shaking my head. I'm sorry, people that I was like, no, it is not really a rant. It is more a reality check, I would say, on AI and just kind of the ethics behind AI, because there are some ethical considerations when it comes to using it, and not only ethical, but like climate change stuff, and not climate change, but things to consider with the planet as a whole when using AI. And it's disgusting that we have to use that type of terminology when it comes to a computer program.
There's people we've talked about having interrealmers on. Yeah, we need to do that.
Need to start bringing you back because you're getting close to spoiler territory. Come back, Miner. Come back.
I thought my seat was sinking.
No. I can always get I always get scared because you have got a reputation for, if you know something and you want people to know this thing, tell Miner because it will come out.
Hey,
and
you don't know. I am GMing my own thing.
Spoiler.
I've taken the reins. I know we're talking about TTRPG. I've taken the reins to GM something, and it is so hard to just rein it in. Tell them, oh, you guys, I've got so much planned for you. I can't say anything.
We got a little group. We got a little group for that Delta Green thing, and about once a week, Miner will put a post in there, and it's about a small thesis in length. And it'll finish with, but I can't tell you anything else. I can't tell you anything else. It's like, stop telling us stuff, Miner. Let us discover this, please.
I want you guys to be as excited for, these podcasts that are coming out as I am. I mean, your episodes for the Tales from the Interrealms just blown away.
And once again, we have somehow managed to segue into tabletop discussion on a Minecraft podcast. We do it every week. I don't know how we do this, but we do it every week.
I'm surprised no one's actually looked at. We do actually have access to the Minecraft D&D book. I mean, that is a thing that exists. So, I mean, in theory, we could play D&D in Minecraft.
And I know we've shouted them out before. Rebel JC, hey, playtesting, hit us up. Someone listen to this.
Someone may have already been hit up.
Oh, hey, spoilers.
Thanks.
Yeah, so our friend on the Dig Straight Down podcast, he's creating his own RPG based around Minecraft. It's very interesting and very, very complex. I probably haven't contributed much to the conversation, to be honest, because of time and life, but he's put a lot of work into it. So definitely check out his podcast, but also when this sees the light of day, definitely have a look at that as well. But yeah, Minecraft, D&D, maybe we should discuss that. Then we can talk about it on this podcast and it'd be totally fine.
Yeah. Hey, it's a crossover episode. That's what we'll call it. We're going to have a crossover episode after we all have seen the Minecraft movie.
The only request that I have is then a Troj sheep makes an appearance. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, please check out the Discord that's going to be linked in the show notes below. So that way you can join us on that community and actually see the Troj sheep.
Thank you, Keegers. We've almost
flawless segue.
We've almost got through this entire Minecraft movie segment without the Troj sheep being mentioned on this podcast. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I didn't know that was a thing we weren't supposed to do. Is that like the key phrase from like Pee-wee's Playhouse? And then we're gonna start freaking out because I said the Troj sheep.
Wow. No, we probably should give some a little bit of context. Yes, when the first trailer dropped for the movie, and the pink sheep going bah, one of our lovely members photoshopped my face onto the pink sheep, and it has now become a massive thing. There is a Troj sheep on the Interim server. There is Troj sheep merchandise that is being sold. I have embraced my woolliness, and I am Troj sheep.
Well, you were the sheep man, so
no one.
Nah, rephrase that statement, my friend. Go watch things.
Spoilers.
It's a video.
And speaking of maybe the return of said Sheepman, maybe Miner should go check his base out at some point on the server.
The Bearded Bard was just there today.
And again,
Okay.
if this was a video, there's no spoilers in anything I said. You're behind on videos, man.
Yeah.
Well, I have been following. I just watched Cobble's video today. So yeah,
You gotta subscribe to the Sheepman channel. Obviously, you're missing it.
the prank war is on a whole different level now on the Interrealm server. I mean, there is custom things being built just for pranks.
Like toes.
I mean, who else builds something in creative, does a flashback or replay mod of said build, and it's beyond chaos.
Yeah, but sometimes there's beauty in the simplicity of things, and beauty in the simplicity of a callback. Miner, go check your base.
There's not two huge TNT spheres, is there? Speaking of a callback.
You're blowing the server up. No. I think you'll get a chuckle.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of hoping for a suit and tie somehow over there. Talk about a callback. Does anybody actually remember what the heck I'm talking about?
I do.
The suit and tie?
Mm.
Yeah.
The Dawn.
The
Yeah.
Dawn.
See, this is this is all Interrealm's history. Like when I was contemplating bringing Sheepman back for this chaos, on this again. People listening that may not be following the server. There's a massive prank war going on at the moment between chaos, and chaos. Don't ask. Just go look at the recap, the Interrealm's recap podcast. Best way to catch up with on there. But anyway, when I contemplated bringing back the Sheepman from season 1, which was a pranking sort of angle, it was like, but no one knows this anymore. No one remembers. Like, we were 10 people back in those days. No one gets the reference unless you were back in those days. So I'm having to explain the history a lot to people of why does Troj have a sheep head on? Why have you got a Batman suit that doesn't have the bat logo but has the sheep head on it? You know, what are you doing? It's like, this is all Interrealm's history. This is all stuff that's coming back. You know, and you got some people going, that's hilarious, you're an idiot. And you got other people like Cubsy commenting on videos going, he's back! Yeah, how exciting! So it's like, you got to explain the history. But, you know, we've been around now. This is our 5th year. To know that you can pull back from the past and bring it forward into this again and repurpose it and reuse it. And then you get people that goes back and look at old videos and go, what on earth are you on about? It's such a rich history. I know this is like a 100 episode look at the podcast, but the podcast really was born out of this community that we've built up over 5 years. It's where it's all come from. It's the evolution of that journey. And so now that we're at a point where we've got half a decade of history, you know, I'm suddenly feeling very old. But you got literally that 5 year of history there that in pullback and that rich tapestry. The newer people like the Cobbles and the Diddies and all of that out there that are joining the server, and the new people that are joining actually tonight as well. You know, they've got such a rich tapestry to look back on and look through. And I saw one of the newer people had commented on one of my really old videos going, well, here's as good a place as any to start. You know, and it's like, it's like, all right, you know, people are looking back at it. And it's just, again, we've said this a few times, like to think 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, or probably 5 years ago, we were having this Facebook conversation in a group of 10 people that Keegers wasn't even around for at that point in this, in terms of, you know, Interrealms. Is like, how do we do this? Do we set it up? You know, and it's like, we started off thinking, like, here's a little bit of history. The name Interrealms, where it came from. We knew international. And originally, none of us knew what on earth we were doing in terms of servers and how do we do this. So originally we were going to get a Minecraft realm. That was it. And that's where it was like international realm, Interrealms. But then we very quickly decided the realm was not the way to go with it. We couldn't do everything we wanted to do. And Muggins here said, I'll research servers. Went from there. So that's where the name Interrealms came from. To think
it's caused nothing but problems since.
Really?
I mean, okay, let's be honest. Early on, we had so many people going, well, how do I join your realm? It's like, it's not a realm, it's a Java server.
True. But we can justify it now because we have so many different realms. We've got podcasts, we got servers, we got all sorts of stuff. So it's a realm.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And I was going to say that it started out as just a Minecraft content creators getting together, wanted to be kind of like Hermitcraft, but now it is so much more than that. We're a community. We play Minecraft together. We build together. We play D&D together. We podcast together. And we just hang out together on Discord sometimes. It's just an awesome community.
I think it's definitely evolving, if it hasn't already, into a content creator community, more so than Minecraft community. It's definitely evolving something bigger and better, and it's growing all the time.
Well, as Keegers mentioned, if you want to find out what the Troj sheep looks like, you can find it on the Discord, the Interrealms SMP Discord. And that would be the best way to talk to us. If you would like to talk to us privately, you could do that through an email at minecraftlabpodcast@gmail.com or over on the socials. We're at MCLab_podcast on Twitter X, or on Blue Sky at Lab MC Podcast. And of course, all these links and more can be found on the Interrealms SMP.com website, made by this man down here. It's awesome. All the links are there. Click connect up in the upper left-hand corner. You can find podcasts and all of them there.
The other side. Upper right.
Other side. Upper right, upper left.
Upper right.
I don't know.
Upper right. And because it's confusing. I don't know if I'm mirrored or we're pointing people, and because we're mirrored or may not be mirrored, it's hard to tell which way is left.
It's that way.
Over here.
Yeah, I've been telling everybody on the left. So
it's on the right.
There. It's there.
It's there. You'll find it. It's there. You'll find it.
I would like to close this podcast out with something that Keegers, you like to say.
So you want me to finish? Okay. So someone out there likes you. Someone out there loves you. And hey, we appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you very much. This has been a production of the Interrealms Podcast Network. For more information, go to podcast.interrealmssmp.com. You can see that full link in the description of this episode. Thank you for listening.
Because Miner usually brings me back in at the end of that. I was ready to go. Keegers, thank you very much for joining us. It's like we're wrapping up. It's like, okay, I won't thank Keegers. So thank you, Keegers, for joining us on this, on this 100th episode. And thank you, obviously, for the support and getting it out there. Because if you ever disappeared, we would not know how to do any of it at all. That would be the end.
That is a problem. That is actually a problem. No, that's a problem.
It's a
that we need to address.
Tiny one, but we do appreciate everything you do. So thank you.
Yeah, no, it's fine.